Shalom, shalom, family.
Shalom. Today there is so much to talk about. It's April 28th, it's Monday, and we've been talking about how things are changing so fast. But just in the last few weeks, like the last week, it's been crazy. The relations between Burkina Faso and America are heightening in tensions. This is something we haven't really seen. It's mostly been France that is having these issues with the West African states, but right now it's America and Burkina Faso that are really kind of coming at each other after the Marine Commander Langley basically dropped Captain Ibrahim's name in a meeting that they had in DC at the top of the month. Captain Ibrahim Traore and his ministers actually responded. And so we need to talk about this because it's causing an entire awakening throughout the continent. People are rising throughout all of Africa saying, no, we need to protect this leader. This is our president. We need to have his back. People are looking at US Black Americans, some, not all, but looking at some like, oh, this guy is a coon. Why is he coming at Africa like this? Like, don't y'all have enough to worry about over there? So we're going to get into this topic. But before this topic, you
Yeah,
had one that you told me about.
yeah, everything is heating up, family. Look, I know we say it time after time. Like you really got to choose. You really got to analyze what's to come. It's obvious now. It's really obvious, and the choice is yours. If you're just gonna stay in a country that is literally the shelves is being empty, and shipping containers is not coming in.
What do you mean? You
They're
told
like
me this, and I'm like, what are you talking
yeah,
about?
shipping containers is not coming in. Like, or if they are coming in, it's like half empty or half full. You get what I'm saying? So America is struggling, and they're not going to tell you this in your face. So you really have to do your research. You really have to like take it upon yourself and be like, hey, this is not good, and it's really not because I know for us it's obvious. It's been obvious for us for the
Mm-hmm.
past what I want to say ever since we kind of woke up 2016,
Yeah,
just realizing
yeah.
what America is and like the root of America. So if you are wise, because wisdom in these last days is very, very essential to have. And if you don't have it, you might want to ask the most high for it
Yeah,
because
quickly.
wisdom it's just obvious. It's obvious what's happening right now is supposed to happen in this time. So guys, I'm telling you,
Let's get into these
yeah,
videos.
really.
It is, y'all are going to want to hit the like button when you come in, share this video to get this information out. Because when you told me earlier that there were, was it 200,000 empty shipping containers
Yeah,
that America or that China brought to America? I'm like, were they trying to be funny? Why are the shipping containers
yeah,
empty?
yeah.
Like, what?
I'll say because I think we was late, and this is something that they do. They might tell you like later, like a couple days later, maybe a week later. Because I was trying to find it. I was trying to find the video and stuff, but the things that I was finding, it was like 4 days ago and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, this probably happened like a while ago, and you know, people are just now talking about it. So you
Yeah,
gotta really like that's why I say
yeah.
you gotta realize what's happening. You gotta analyze what's happening. It's for a reason because this stuff right now is getting crazy. It's getting out of hand.
That's
But
good that you said that because you said that it took a while. And when you think of like logistics, freight, shipping containers, getting these products to America, the empty shelves, in the event that President Trump does not hit the ceasefire button on this trade war, in the
mhm,
event that he continues to take this to the full extent, you can guarantee that the shelves will be empty. Walmart and Target are coming out warning President Donald Trump and saying, look, we have about 2 weeks, we have about 14 days. You might as well call it 13 or 12 days now, because that was a few days ago that they said that. Before we
mhm.
have empty shelves, like the stock pilage that they have in Walmart is not going to cut it. The stock pilage that they have in Target is not going to cut it because they continue to get these shipments from China all the time. Again, remember, America does not produce her own goods. Oh, Claudia, shout out to Claudia members only. Claudia says, and Home Depot. Absolutely. America does not produce their own goods. And so when you don't produce your own goods, that means you have to rely on China. FYI, China, Great Britain, and Japan are the countries that import the most to America. America doesn't make its own stuff, but then America also does not export a lot to other countries either. Okay, you'd be
Yeah.
shocked to hear that. Historically, you would always think, okay, America is the greatest. They've been importing and exporting, but it's like not really. Where America dominates is entrepreneurship, technology, and that's about it. Entrepreneurship and
And
technology.
they
So
really
that's
don't even
America's
do that.
thing.
But I wanted to say this before we get into it. Um, I know. I think you showed me the video about China. It was like, or it was like a skit. And it's like, look, bro,
No,
what
Jeremiah showed us that. No.
Jeremiah, yeah, our teenager showed us this. China, it was like China and the U.S. And China was like,
I
look,
wish we still had that
you are
video. I
not
should have
about to
seen
little
it.
bro me, bro. I'm big dog too, so you're not about little bro me. And I was like, bro, that's literally what's happening. It's a big dog over here, China. It's a big dog over here, America. America cannot just be like, hey, you are little bro. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. So if you don't know what's going on, man, you really got to focus and ask the Most High to give you some foresight to see what's coming,
Yeah, it's
because it's
not
coming.
difficult because in the age of the internet, you have economists. Like we were watching a podcast earlier, Diary of the CEO. You are having people coming out and warn you, but it's like, what would you like to listen to? What would you like to eat? Like if obviously if you eat junk food all day, then your health is going to be crap. And so if you're just intaking stuff that does not show the reality of the situation, then you're not going to understand what's going on. But that's what we're here for, to help you to see what's happening.
Yeah. So let's play this video real quick. Fair use, guys. Fair use. This is for educational purposes and what you said.
Yeah, let's play the
Commentary.
video.
Okay.
This is from MSNBC. Empty shelves take
consumer sentiment plummeting to one of the lowest levels on record amid a fierce trade war. Retailers are warning of empty shelves reminiscent of the pandemic, with the 145% tariff on nearly all Chinese imports in place. Yesterday, President Trump said he's ready to make a deal with President Xi.
Have you spoken to him since the tariffs? When did you last?
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times.
When did that happen, and what did you discuss?
I'll let you know at the appropriate time. Let's see if we can make a deal.
Meantime, major ports like the Port of Los Angeles are
This is what happened every time.
seeing a steep drop in imports from China. And joining me now, we have Lorianne LaRocco, global supply chain reporter for CNBC Business News.
Oh, okay. So they're saying that China's not importing as much as they used to. You are already seeing a drop in the supply chain. So the next logical question is going to be, when is this going to take effect? Like, when will you see the symptoms of this? When will you see this happening at your nearby Walmart, your nearby Target? And what are you doing to combat that? This is why for us, prepping in America was never a solution. We looked into prepping in America, stockpiling all these things. But in that society, prepping is not a solution, because that makes you a target. Because everybody knows, especially in America, you don't have, like in Africa, we have compounds. And so you have a bit of privacy. But in America, you don't have these compounds. Everybody can see what you have. People are staring at you. People are just acting wild. And so you become Target Street, essentially, when you have all of the goods stockpiled in your house and everybody's like, oh, we know we got to go to their house. Y'all remember and Leave the World Behind? That's essentially what happened. Everybody knew this guy stockpiles everything, but he also had, his ammunition and different stuff. But at the end of the day, that's why for us, stockpiling in America was never that was not a solution to us. That puts a target on you heavily, especially in these times where you're already seeing items fly off the shelves, and they're saying it's reminiscent of pandemic times. Y'all remember in 2020 where toilet paper was gone, everything, such a weird time. Yeah, everything was gone.
And talk about symptoms. Right there, Trump, And let me know in the comments too. Trump, he kind of gave me Biden vibes right there. Like, to be honest, that's just like me watching that. I was like, dang, he really starting to look and sound like Biden.
I mean, he is up there. He's older. He's an elder president, you know?
Yeah, you gotta look. You gotta see what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
That Lori is also the author of the book Trade War, Containers Don't Lie, Navigating the Bluster. Lori, big welcome to you. So when it comes to the prospect of empty store shelves, which products could be hit hardest, and should consumers be worried? I mean, are you seeing a rush to buy certain things right now?
We really shouldn't see a rush because we actually have the items in. It's going to hit us in waves, Alex. And this is what we're going to kind of see with the timeline. Starting in June, this is where you're going to start seeing, those items that we love to get really cheap online. Those are the items that are going to get hit first. And those are like the fast fashion, products we might get on Amazon. And the reason why is that smaller businesses, they can't afford to have front loaded, right? All of these items in to beef up their inventory. Then starting in July, this is critical because this is the back to school time, right? Where parents are going into the stores to get their kids their school clothes. So you're looking at backpacks, you're looking at notebooks, you're going to be looking at all of these items that some have been brought in, but there has been a major pause when you're looking at the amount of items that have been brought in, and people are just really uncertain, if you will. Is it going to consumer going to buy? We have seen the
hits retail the worst. And we've been talking about this on the channel. If you're a small business owner, it's definitely going to hit you the worst. And I was listening to some TikToks and some documentaries on YouTube from small business owners, European small business owners in America, that are saying, yeah, we used to have this huge $250K contract, but we lost the entire thing because our supplier is in China. And we told them, I can't do extra 45%. And they're like, well, you don't have a choice, because with tariffs, when they go to import those goods from China at the dock in America, the company in America, the small business, has to pay those fees, not China. The small business in America pays the tariff fees to acquire the goods from China. Okay. In an effort to get more small businesses to produce American goods. But it's like a slippery slope. Like, you have to be careful doing that, because you're just going to end up having a situation. America already doesn't produce her own goods and hasn't for generations. America already doesn't have the factory and industrialization ages that they used to. And on top of that, even if they did bring some of those jobs back, at the end of the day, AI and automation and robots do so much manufacturing that it's not even going to help the regular American citizen get a job at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's hitting all industries, really, even the farming industry. I know we was watching a video the other day about this company. It's a big farming company, right? And they was looking for certain items that used to be 83 cents, right? And he called a supplier. He said, yeah, we want to stock up on these items before it get too expensive. He said, well, I don't think that, and this is somebody that he has a relationship with, right? And he said, yeah, I don't think you want to know the price for it now. And he said, no, just tell me so I can, see if I can grab some or not. He said, well, the price for one of these items that used to be 83 cents is $1.73 now. For one little 80 cent, I'm not sure the item, but it was 83 cents.
Hundreds of them,
and they needed hundreds, maybe thousands of it. So that hits all industries.
That hits agriculture.
Yeah. And really, at the end of the day, the bigger picture is food, water, and shelter. So you really gotta think about that. And that's literally what's happening right now. Like, really, even just like I said earlier, like, Trump was giving me Biden vibes right there. It doesn't matter if they change the leader of America. What is the root of America? That's just what it is. We are in this time right now. We are literally in a time where it's gonna fall. It's like look, and I know you all, or I always say this to you. It's like people digging a ditch, right? Throwing the dirt up, digging a ditch, throwing the dirt up, and everybody scattering through the dirt, trying to figure out what's going on. But the ditch has been dug already. So it just depends on you if you're gonna scatter with the dirt that they digging up from the ditch that they digging, or just get away from the ditch and the dirt. For real.
And get to higher ground. Yeah. Because it's crazy. But y'all, we need to move on to our next topic, which is everybody's favorite president. Okay. Captain Ibrahim Traore, who, FYI, they have tried to assassinate this man so many times it's not even funny.
Like 19,
he just
20
survived
times.
Another assassination attempt days ago. Right after that Marine Guard guy, Langley, called him out and said, oh, Burkina Faso, so-and-so, he's, hoarding all the gold to it, just lying on the man, just accusing him falsely. And this is always a tactic of the enemy, send out a false accusation, cause chaos. And once chaos ensues, then you can try and attempt to cripple somebody, but it's not working.
Yeah.
This is the season where those accusations, falsehood, manipulations don't work anymore. This is the season where lies will not go ahead and bring forth fruit anymore. This is the season where the righteous are bold as a lion and stand up. So let's see what's happening in Burkina Faso.
And that's what it is. The righteous has to stand up, no matter how many lies that the enemy is throwing out. That's a big deal right there. I don't mean to point at y'all, but that's a big deal right there, for real. Because like, no matter how much darkness is in this world, it cannot stop the light to shine. Like, really.
Ooh, that's good.
You have to, like, the righteous people, the people that's really striving to be righteous, to be like Yahusha, to seek the Most High, allow Him to lead you and guide you in these crazy chaos times. We have to stand up. And this is a prime example of what's happening right now in Burkina Faso.
Literally.
Because his cabinet, his crew is very tight. Somebody, I think, was it America or somebody, French or somebody, offered one of his officers $5 million.
$5 million, the most that anybody had ever offered to date.
Yeah.
And he found it out.
And the officer said, I'm gonna go tell him. Like,
this is happening.
Look, somebody just offered me $5 million to kill you.
Woo.
So that tells you right there what is going on.
Exactly.
But that tells you right there, you got to be tight. You got to be super tight with the people that's close to you.
And the people that are close to you, they better be the right people, because that's a lesson we can learn from Captain Ibrahim Traore as well. Clearly, this man only lets people in his circle he trusts. He's probably the type of man, like, if he doesn't trust you, he's not giving it the benefit of the doubt. You're out, like, it's done. Like, if he feels something's off with you, he can't have you in his circle, because that could be his life. And he understands that it's not about his life, it's about his country. It's about the Burkina Faso. It's about all the people of Africa.
The righteous.
If we're quite honest, it's about all the oppressed of the world who have been colonized throughout Southeast Asia, throughout Africa, throughout Australia. That's what it's about. So he has people of all of these different cultures that are melanated. They're looking to him, looking to Africa right now, saying, wow, this is inspiring. That's our president too.
Yeah. And what you said, Burkina Faso, what does that mean?
Burkina Faso, the upright people.
The upright people, guys.
That's what that means in their language. But before we get into the video, when you were talking, you reminded me of a scripture. A scripture came to mind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. The book of John. The light Genesis, shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. Meaning, when the light shines, the darkness automatically becomes confused and doesn't even understand what's happening. Yeah. That's what we're seeing happening in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. Let's look at this video, guys.
Look, I know we keep... Man, look, it's the truth though. Like, it's so true. Like, what's happening right now in the physical been happening in the spiritual. So it's right here in the physical now happening. So that should kind of tell you what's going to happen next, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Isaiah, I believe it's Isaiah 62 that also it's like a precept to that verse that talks about how the light shines and the light is going to continue to shine in gross darkness, meaning it would appear that there would be more darkness over the earth. But according to Isaiah 62, it says, arise and shine, for your light has come.
Yep.
It's like, stand up, righteous chosen people of the earth. No longer is it the time for the righteous to be silent. No longer is it the time for the righteous to be oppressed. No longer is it the time where people tell lies and believe in lies. Now is the time of reaping and sowing. Now is the time, if you perpetuate lies, if you manipulate, if you work these evils, that reward will come to you not once, but double.
Yep.
Because in Revelations, it says, give Babylon double for her trouble.
Yep.
Not just one time for her trouble. The Most High's righteous judgment, he says, it's not just giving you back what you did, but now you have to receive double since you believe lies, perpetuate lies, and love deceit.
Yeah, it's wheat and tares. It's the wheat and tares. The tares has been burnt up now, screaming out, trying to catch everybody's attention. So just pay attention, wheat. But let's play this video.
Oh, this is from the New Tourist Africa. We love this channel. U.S. orders the arrest of Captain Ibrahim Traore. Will Africa let it happen? Let's find out.
To me, that this.
Imagine you're sitting at home, peacefully enjoying dinner with your family. Suddenly there's a loud knock at the door. You open it to find your neighbor standing there with a stern expression.
You gotta love
I wonder if Honeybook has any new clients for me today.
Woo, will it be allowed to happen?
I've been watching how you raise your children, your neighbor announces. And I think you're making terrible choices. Your parenting style is harming them. You should follow my advice instead because I know what's best for your family. How would you feel? Angry? Insulted? Would you tell this neighbor to mind their own business? This awkward scenario might seem far-fetched, but something remarkably similar is happening on the world stage. Instead of a nosy neighbor, it's powerful countries telling smaller nations how to run their affairs. Instead of parenting advice, it's criticism about international partnerships and policy decisions. This is the story of Burkina Faso, a West African nation standing up against foreign powers trying to dictate its choices. It's a tale of sovereignty, dignity, and the right of a nation to chart its own course, even when global superpowers disapprove. But what gives countries like the United States the confidence to judge others? Why do they feel entitled to determine which partnerships are appropriate for nations like Burkina Faso? And most importantly, what happens when a country like Burkina Faso decides to say thanks but no thanks to this unsolicited guidance? The answers reveal a fascinating struggle between global superpowers and nations determined to forge their.
Look, this is a good video. If you guys do not follow this channel and watch this channel, you just see how he just broke it down, how your neighbor coming to you and saying, hey, you don't raise your children this way, raise them this way. Don't let them do this. Do it like this. Like that's powerful right there. And that's literally what's happening. Like who is America to judge? I know I don't want America to judge me. Like really. That's deep. That's really deep. It's really like it's the times that we're in. We are in the end days. And these bigger countries, and really it's really not bigger. I guess that in size and
no, in GDP.
Yeah, and
world powers.
Yeah, world powers. But when you get out of America, when you travel, you start to realize how sustainable other countries are. And as we was just talking about the tariffs and the shelves and this and that that's coming to America, that's not sustainable. But here on the continent, a lot of places is sustainable. They know how to wipe out their debt, such as Burkina Faso. In the past, last 2 years, they wiped out billions of dollars, kicking out the French and doing their own thing. So you gotta realize, like, man, This stuff is happening for a reason.
There's another lesson in that too, from what he was saying. If you notice, it's the same tactic that America, well, it wasn't America at that time, but the people from Britain had done to the Native Americans, coming across as an angel of light, a messenger of light, someone bring good news, someone that's like, yes, I can come help you. Let me help you put things in order. Let me help you do it the right way. But really, it's the devil himself, because these economies, especially these Western nations, function as an adversary to Africa and to Asia and to the indigenous in Australia. Let's be honest. These countries function as destroyers. That's literally what the word says, that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But Yahusha came so that we would have life and have it more abundantly. And so you have to look at the fruits. What is the fruit of killing, stealing, and destroying? Which countries do those things? And so make no marvel the fact that they wrap themselves up as messengers of light. They pretend to be helping, but Captain Ibrahim Traore did not fall for that, y'all. He did not even fall for it. He is like, I'm not even with it. So let's listen to the rest of the video and see what's going on.
Record, edit, and share your podcast.
Because he did a press release a few weeks ago saying like he's not going back down. He's not scared. They need to mind their business. They don't know what they're talking about. So he's not afraid.
Western partnerships. What led to this significant change in foreign policy? The answers lie in the country's complex history and current challenges. To understand Burkina Faso's current position, we must look back at its history. Like many African nations, Burkina Faso spent decades under European colonial rule. France controlled the territory, then called Upper Volta, until independence in 1960. However, formal independence didn't immediately translate to genuine autonomy. Economic ties, military agreements, and political influence ensured that France maintained significant control over its former colony. This pattern, sometimes called neo-colonialism, kept many African nations functionally dependent on former colonizers despite their nominal independence. For decades, France maintained a military presence in Burkina Faso, ostensibly to help combat terrorism in the Sahel region. But questions about effectiveness and true motives grew louder. If the goal was to defeat terrorist groups, why did the security situation continue to deteriorate despite years of French military involvement? This growing skepticism set the stage for change. In recent years, Burkina Faso decided it wanted a different approach, one where it controlled its own security destiny rather than relying on former colonial powers. "We can deal with this ourselves," became the rallying cry. The government
So I don't know if you guys heard, but the African media channels are talking right now. They're saying April 30th is the day where a lot of Africans across Africa, I don't know, maybe people across the whole world are going to be protesting, saying that they do not want the U.S. to take out Captain Ibrahim Traore. They want the U.S. to stay out of his business, to stay out of Africa's business in general. So what we're seeing is a complete flip of the table, a complete flip of the cards. Like, I'm just glad to be alive in these times and to see it. I know back in 2020, when John Magufuli was alive, the late president of Tanzania, it felt like such a Renaissance era to see somebody stand up to these mindsets and to these foolish and false governments. But, you know, he passed away. But the fact that then Captain Ibrahim Traore stood up in West Africa is like, wow, this is really that time. The reality is, whether they've succeeded in taking somebody out or not, the spirit is alive in African people. African people are saying, oh no, colonization is over. You getting over on me is over. Those days are way past. And it's causing a bit of a divide between those who are in the West and side with that, the blackface, whatever Langley, I don't know if his name is Michael Langley, the Marine commander. Our stance is very clear. We stand with Captain Ibrahim Traore. That's why we live in Africa, period. So like you were saying earlier, it's like you're going to have to choose if you are siding with Western superpowers or not. You're going to have to make a choice. Everybody has to make choices in life. You know, you can't be lukewarm. Even from a scriptural standpoint, the scriptures tell us in Revelations 2 that if you would have kept your same heat and fire for me that you would have as the first, you would be more blessed and I would accept you. But because you're lukewarm, I want to spit you out of my mouth. It's like choose a side and stick to it. Choose a side and make it be for righteousness' sake. And if you're like, well, I don't know what righteousness' sake is, well, look at the fruits. If it's false accusation and lies, that can't be for righteousness. That has to be for demons and devils. It's very simple.
Yeah, it is simple. It's very simple. Just get in your word. Like it's the word is true. The word is true. The word is true. Right? You have to realize like what's happening. Like it's happening right here. So I don't get like how people can't see the bigger picture. If you really believe in the word, you know what's to come. Prepare now. Prepare now, or it's not going to be peaceful for you.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be so confused. You're going to be lost. You're going to be behind. So you really have to prepare now and get ready for the times to come. Especially like this week is about to be crazy with everything that happened last week with I want to say 1 week ago with the Pope and stuff like that, and I want to say a couple of days. It's a lot of spiritual stuff that's happening, and it's right here in the physical. It's touching down right here on this earth. So get prepared. Really get prepared. Stand who stand with the Most High. Stand with the righteous. And it's simple. It's very simple.
Yeah. Let's look at some more of this video because this is like, that I can't believe they're calling like internationally for him to be arrested. I think that's just foolishness. But that's what they're calling for. It is not going to work. They're accusing him of stuff that he didn't even do. And this is somebody that's literally helped his people. And then on top of that, they're saying, just go ahead and arrest him. And it's like, really? Like that, I doubt that that's going to happen. I highly, 100,000 times doubt that that's going to happen. But I do think that the U.S. is making some slippery moves right now, where it's like, if they keep moving like that, they're not going to have any allies. The few allies that they had, they're already messing up relations with now in this time. So it's like, how much further are you willing to make all of these adversaries until you realize, oh, it's just me alone on this post acting wild?
Expelled French forces and began seeking alternative partnerships, including with Russia and China. This shift represents more than just changing military allies. It symbolizes a deeper quest for true independence, not just political independence on paper, but genuine economic, military, and diplomatic autonomy. But any nation making such a dramatic pivot should expect pushback from the powers losing influence. And pushback came, though perhaps not in the form Burkina Faso expected. If this story has stirred something in you, even just a little, then don't scroll past without doing your part. Hit that like button to show you're not one of the silent ones. Subscribe
Keep playing it.
Subscribe to The New Tourist if you believe these truths deserve to be heard.
Yeah, family. You got to realize the partnerships and the allies that they're building. Russia trade with them grain. You get what I'm saying? They're banning. Burkina Faso banned all secondary clothes that's coming into the country from America. Secondhand clothing, no more. I want to say, was it Burkina Faso or was it another country I'm thinking about? No, same-sex marriage. I want to say it was Burkina Faso that just.
It's most African countries.
Yeah, but you pick a side. Like really, pick a side. Pick a side. We know how America came to Africa, or the history. Just look at history. Just look at history. Analyze it. Go back to the past, and it's going to tell you which side you should be on. Like really, Russia, China, they only want to help. It's not like they came here to kill, steal, and destroy.
Right. Who did they put in slavery?
Right?
Who have they colonized?
So it's just like, man, America, it really got us in this big old bubble of witchcraft. That's just what it is. And people, and it's not going to work only if you accept it. And people are just accepting the witchcraft. So obviously it's going to work. Like it's not a big. It's very simple, guys. I'm telling you, it's very simple.
Yeah, this is y'all. We gotta get back into this video. This stuff is it's just wild. It's kind of crazy because things are heating up so quick, and yeah, we as a people we should be praying for the safety and protection of Captain Ibrahim Traore and the people of Burkina Faso. But also that with all this confusion that the U.S. is trying to bring, that it would be stopped and that it would just fail, that it would just be paralyzed, and they wouldn't be able to perpetrate these things any longer. Because honestly, the West just has too much to deal with. The economy is already crazy. The empty shelves, is already coming down the pipeline. The stock market's crazy. President Trump doing his 59,000 executive orders is already insane enough. And so it's like, don't you have enough stuff? Like, can't you worry about that side of the world and give Africa a chance to rise? But it's like these people, and I don't even want to say people because we're dealing with spiritual warfare. You're dealing with entities. When you're dealing with entities that do not want to see younger generations progress, or people who are historically oppressed progress, then you are dealing with the destroyer himself. That's just what it is. We can look at the fruits and see when you want to take out this young man that's leading his country, put falsehood on him. That's not a godly thing to do, no matter how many times you spin it in your white supremacist narrative. It doesn't really matter. The reality of the situation is if you are working those lies, if you are seeking to destroy, then you are going to fall in those traps. Who knows how America is going to fall into that specific trap, but from a spiritual standpoint, the world is going to look and watch and see that destruction come upon the West.
Best for Burkina Faso? Should it be General Langley and AFRI-COM? Or should it be the Burkinabe government and its citizens? Before delving deeper into the geopolitical tensions, let's look at what Burkina Faso is actually doing domestically that makes its independent stance so significant. The tomato industry provides a perfect example. Burkina Faso has historically been a major tomato producer, but there was a frustrating pattern. The country would grow tomatoes, ship them to France for processing and packaging, then buy them back at higher prices. This arrangement benefited the French economy while keeping Burkina Faso in an
That just has me speechless.
Yeah, does that make any sense at all, right there? And that's how they treat African countries. They say, "Oh, we can help you. Just ship it to our country, and then we sell it back to you."
prices, a classic colonial economic relationship persisting long after formal independence. Under new leadership, Burkina Faso has invested in building its own tomato processing plants. Now, instead of shipping raw tomatoes abroad, the country can process them domestically, create local jobs, and capture more of the economic value. This is just one example of a broader push toward economic self-sufficiency. Similar efforts are happening across multiple sectors. In agriculture, the government has invested in modern farming equipment like tractors to boost productivity and food security. In education, new schools and universities are being constructed, along with laboratory facilities, so students no longer need to travel to neighboring countries for scientific research. In healthcare, hospital construction has been prioritized.
Wow. So these are just some of the good works that, according to the U.S. AFRICOM and that guy Michael Langley, they're like, this is so horrible.
This is bad.
We need to arrest him. Oh my gosh. Making tomatoes for his people. Oh, that's literally what they're thinking. That's what the West is thinking. And so, I mean, they're not going to succeed. We're trying to tell y'all, this is the day and the time where those plans of the evil do not succeed. It's just not going to work. Yeah. Captain Ibrahim Traore, he's not scared of them. He stood up to them. He put out a press release and said, you need to go mind your business. And I bet soon Russia is going to be coming into Burkina Faso.
Too.
China will be respecting them as humans.
Thank you, but no thank you. That's respect right there. That's like, I appreciate you so much, but we good over here.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, no, da da da.
Yeah, which shows how honorable his personality is, for sure. Yeah.
Like, yeah, these partnerships, guys, like, you got to think about what's happening on a bigger scale. Like, it's going to be wars happening pretty soon, like big wars. I think North Korea is sending troops to Russia now. We know Russia and China's tight. We know Iran is partnered with Russia also. So you got to think about that's Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, um, pretty much Africa in general, all the African countries. I can't put it on all one hand, but think about that because Burkina Bay, I think Namibia. Yeah.
Did what?
I think they're tight with Burkina Bay. Niger, Mali,
Senegal.
Yeah, all
Chad.
look, it's pretty much all of
Morocco.
Africa that's going to be united pretty soon, and they do not want to see that. The bigger, the old powers, the bigger powers, they say they do not want to see that because once they see that, they know it's their time is over.
Yeah, they already know. I mean, it's already done. They know that. That's why they're freaking out like this. But I just hate the fact that they always put a black face. Like, why is it always one of us? Like, always. That was so embarrassing to see that Marine commander get up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't see it.
Oh my gosh.
It's to a point where it's like, this stuff is so like foolish.
I was like, this is like, y'all don't get tired of this?
I get tired of it. That's why I'm be look.
Y'all not tired of acting like coons? Oh my goodness. Crazy.
Yeah, Africa will rise for sure. Like, for sure, Africa will rise.
Yeah.
That's no doubt about it. Like, that's the ancient way.
Yes, the ancient kingdom of the earth. It is what it is. But y'all, I think that's about it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to get this message out. Let us know what your thoughts are. And then let us know also what news you would like us to cover next.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. Let us know. Stay tuned. Make sure you turn that bell notification on so you catch our lives like this randomly. So we appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the love. Make sure you seek peace, seek truth. Get in your word because everything is unfolding right now in this physical. Yeah. Africa will rise, and the others will fall. So look,
it is what it is.
It is. Look, it's happening. It's simple. It's simple. So all praises to the Most High, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you in the next live, the next video.
Yes, shalom, family, and make sure you get your travel plans together.
Yeah,
there's a whole world out there waiting for you.
If you don't have please get your passport. That's all I gotta say.
Shalom.
Shalom.